Hello, and welcome to Mary Elizabeth Jones's Variety Hour.
Yay! Hallelujah! Yeah, Mary Elizabeth's Variety Hour. And, you have the same guest every week, so what a variety. I have to make it different each time. My name is Kaye Lazar. I'm the announcer on this show. And since we couldn't get Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, and we're going to have a seance to see if the ghost of Bing Crosby was going to sing us a Christmas song, but it didn't work out. So all you have is me. So it'll work out. Anyway, I'm a little underdressed for today.
You look fine.
I was in Las Vegas, and they said, "Get out of here until you put on some proper clothes." And so I put this on, and they love it. Yeah. So no, this is my Christmas costume, and I got Christmas balls here. It takes balls to enjoy Christmas. I tell you, like the Christmas tree and everything. Then I got what are these? Rocket pops.
Yeah, they're like little.
They're cold. Cold
Yeah.
is Christmas, right? The
Right.
winter
It
time,
makes
yeah,
sense.
cold.
It makes totally.
You don't need a lot of these during the winter time because they're
Right.
they're cold.
That's right.
Might as well just suck on the tree bark if you want something cold. And then you got candy canes, which to me is absolutely the candy corn of Christmas candy.
Right.
I mean, candy canes are good. They're like flavored glass. You chomp on it. Cut, got a cut on my gum, and you have to wait like 3 days before you can drink orange juice again. Oh, we got orange juice coming up.
Yes,
So
yes.
so anyway, I was thinking like it's very hard to make yourself understood, and so we're trying new things out and everything on this, and certain words are really weird. And I was in Ireland. Oh, I got to tell you something. I did a show with someone recently. I'm not going to mention his name, Vinnie Mac. And I had to put a nice introduction, and now I said, and now here's your compare of Vinnie Mac. And I said, compare, what's that? And I said, compare. Do you know what compare means?
No, not
No,
exactly.
it's a French word, and I have to admit, the first
Okay.
time I heard it, I did not know what they were talking about.
Right.
I used to be a DJ in Ireland, all right? And words are, they speak English. In England, they speak English. In Australia, they speak English. And in India, they speak English. In New Zealand, they speak English. And in America, they speak English.
Yeah.
Singapore, a few other countries, they speak English. Hong Kong, for now, they speak English. So anyway, Pakistan, they speak English. So anyway, but they all have different variations on how they pronounce things or what they call things or anything.
Right.
So I was there, and I had a radio show, and I would say, now listen, you have to pay attention here. They said, and now I am your host. My name was Kaye Lazar then, still is. No, actually, no, my name wasn't Kayla. My name was Colin Morrow there.
Oh yeah.
Colin Morrow was a little. My real name, uh, 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 Kravitz, was a little too. They told me Old Testament for Catholic Ireland.
Oh, okay.
Old. So I was Colin Morrow. Okay,
Mm.
my name is Colin Morrow. I am your host of tonight's show. Okay, host. Okay, so then and if you know anything about radio station managers and all, they always send you memos and always telling you how to do the show better, and
Right.
how, and I've been in this business for 30 years and you're doing it totally wrong. That
Right.
type of thing. And I'm
Right.
I'm 23 years old, so I wasn't in the business for 30 years like he was. So, but I thought I knew more. It's weird when you do a late night show in the middle of the night, and the
Right.
boss comes and he starts yelling at you. Play that record, play that, don't play that record. Blah, 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 blah. Do this, do that, do that. You talk too much. You don't talk enough. That type of thing. You
Right.
know,
Right.
as soon as he leaves, you say to yourself, "Boy, I'm glad he's gone. Boy, I was waiting for him to leave." And yet he's the boss. He's supposed to be there. I'm the I'm the stranger. So anyway, he said, "I'm your host, Colin Moore." So he told me, "I don't want you saying that anymore." And I said, "What?" He says, "Your host. I'm your host.
Uh,
I'm your host." you know. And I said, "What's the matter with host?" And he said he wanted me to say, "I'm your compere," which is French for host, or it actually means master of ceremonies. All
Mhm.
right. Host is, you have a, Johnny Carson's the host of the show. Saturday Night Live has a guest host, that type of thing. Um, so they said, "Go." I'm your host. Said, "Well, we live in a you confuse your audience." I said, "Why?" "Well, you're doing a lot of Irish people as your host, is your host audience. They're your audience, and they don't understand what you mean when you say I'm your host." I said, "What do you mean?"
Mhm.
So they said, "They're all Catholic and they're all very religious, and when they think of host, they think of the Holy Communion, the
Right.
the communion that they get in
Yeah.
every church mass, and they say when you say you're actually bragging to everyone that you're elevated above everybody, including God and everything." I said, "What? What?
What?
What the what the heck are you talking about?" And he said, "Just don't say host anymore. Just say compare." So then there was like a week later, I was listening to a number one show in Ireland. It was called the Gay Byrne Show, and Gay Byrne said, "And now here's your host, Gay Byrne." I said, "Hey, if the biggest shot in Ireland could call himself a host, why can't the littlest shot, the bottom man on the announcing totem pole?" But that's something you just have to do. Didn't you have a grandfather, an uncle, or something that didn't make sense of something about?
Yes, my grandfather.
Yeah.
He was musical, just like I am now. And one of his cousins, which is she's my cousin as well. She's my fourth cousin, and that's his second cousin, and my mom's third cousin, and my great grandmother's first cousin. So
I'm gonna
anyway,
need a like a program to follow.
right. Well, it's a long,
Okay.
you know. So anyway, my grandfather was watching his cousin Irma sing, which
Oh.
is her name, and he thought it was funny because he thought that there was a song called "Careless" that
Oh,
she was
careless.
singing. I
Yeah.
think she was singing on the radio or something. I forgot where the location was, but she was singing "Careless," and my grandfather told me at first there's a lyric in the part of the song which he was saying it was supposed to say bridges, but
Bridges.
he misunderstood her because he thought that she said britches
Bridge.
instead of bridges.
Britches.
Yeah,
They're talking about britches. Oh man.
so that
the
was it was
that would
hilarious.
make a you know it that would be very confusing if you thought bridges were britches.
Yeah,
Because I
right,
like that famous book, the Bridges of Madison County.
right.
Say, why are they making such a big deal about the britches of Madison County? Was there like some magic britches or something? Magic pair of pants? I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of pants, another thing that's weird in Ireland and England was pants are underwear.
Underwear.
When you say, "Oh, my pants are too tight," in America you say, "Well, your long pants or your trousers."
Yeah.
You say they when they hear that, "Oh, my pants are," they think your underwear is too tight. So they get a big laugh, out of that. So the pants, clothes are all different there. There's a I don't know. I've never heard the word breeches there though. That's a more of an American thing, I think. But I've heard. Let's see. I wear suspenders. No, I wear suspenders. They call them braces there.
Yeah.
Oh, and if they talk about suspenders, they're talking like what the Victoria's Secret models
Yeah.
wear.
Yeah.
Those all the stockings and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
They those are suspenders.
Yeah. Okay.
What else? A t-shirt is not a t-shirt there. It's a vest. And a
Oh.
sweater is they call a jumper, especially if
Oh.
it goes over your head.
Yeah.
And then if it buttons down, you probably heard this before. You know what a
Uh.
button down sweater is
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
What?
Like a cardigan.
Cardigan,
Cardigan.
named after Lord Cardigan.
Cardigan. Yeah. Yeah.
Named after Lord Cardigan.
Uh,
He really. He also the Lord Sandwich invented
ah.
invented of the Sandwich Islands invented, but was the first to put meat between two pieces of bread, and they call it a
Right.
sandwich. So after him,
Right. Right.
how things get their name. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, so they have oh, an elevator is a lift,
Oh.
and I never saw the whole time I was there. I didn't see one escalator,
Mm.
oscillator, person who kisses. I didn't see one escalator. I didn't see one water fountain. And because of the pandemic, I don't see water. I mean, I see water fountains now, but they're all unplugged,
Oh.
unhooked. So I don't see any of that. And yeah, so what strange how words. So and then when you go to these places, they things are if you use words that make no sense
Yeah.
to them, then you get like a laugh. I'll tell you another one. I was watching on a show the other night, and a British woman said, I always hear you Americans like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, because I only had one. I'd never had one before. I wanted one, and so she ate one, and with the host who only had one in her life, and they both ate peanut butter. And then the English woman said something very interesting. She said, "Why is it called?" And she's English, and she's in America on American Talk Show. She said, "Why is it called a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and not a peanut butter and jam sandwich? Because that's what it is." And the American woman, I knew why, and the reason why is
Oh.
in in this is cool. In England, there is a difference between jam and jelly. People tend
Right.
to mix them; they're interchangeable in America, but jam has big hunks of fruit in it. All
Mhm.
right, while jelly is boiled and pureed and
Kind of like
basically
a
is all
smoothie.
smoothed out.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
smoothed out.
Right.
Obviously, the jam is healthier for you than the jelly because you might get some fruit out of
Right.
it.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. So.
They still have pectin in it to make it gelatin in it.
Yeah.
Now this is where it gets cool, is that they do have a word for jelly in England,
Uh,
but it's not. Uh, it doesn't mean jam or preserves or anything. It is the word we would use for jello or gelatin, with the pineapple floating around in it
right.
and stuff. And
Right.
and thus, when they say in like an American TV show will be shown there or a movie. I was in the movies once. I think it was St. Elmo's Fire, and somebody said, yesterday I just made myself a Mayor Winningham's actually said it. I made myself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and everyone in the audience was, ugh, while
Uh,
the slow Americans, what's the matter with that? So they imagine a peanut butter and Jello sandwich. Can you imagine how disgusting that is? Yeah, yeah, it is disgusting.
yeah.
How do you try to bite and it all squirts out on each side? So jelly, jello. So yeah. I'm trying to bring back the Queen's English.
Right.
So I always call it jam because that's what it is. A
Yeah.
jam is and or marmalade is a type of jam,
Right.
and the jelly is that stuff you only get in America. Not the other thing about peanut butter is that you only get peanut butter in America.
Yeah.
The peanuts are not. I think in Asia that you see it in a lot of Asian food, like Thai food and stuff.
Right.
Peanut sauce and peanut, but you
Right.
don't really see it a lot there. So they think it's just this disgusting nut. It's not even a nut. It's a type of bean. It's a
Yeah.
legume.
Yeah. Well, so
I
some of us Americans think the English people say sayings are funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, they are funny people.
Yeah.
I think English people by and large are funnier than American people, and I
Yeah.
tell you why. Um, I'm not saying I think American comedians are funnier than British comedians.
Right.
But I think you take people in the street. English people are always laughing, always making jokes. American people, are all busy working hard.
Yeah.
But then there are a lot of good English comedians like the
Right.
Monty Python, and people
Yeah.
you see. Hugh Laurie from
Right.
House is the
Uh-huh.
was for a time the number one comedian in England, and
Yeah.
and when he came to America with an American accent to do the show House, and he's a serious show. He's not.
Right.
People don't think of him as all that funny. You see him on talk shows and stuff. He's very funny
Yeah.
because he's funny there.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other. I mean, Monty Python comes, but Peter Sellers, people like that.
Right. Right.
People usually what you think of when you think of Billy Connolly, when you think of great British comedians, think of the ones that made it in America. You go there, you get a lot of very funny people.
Yeah. Yeah. didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh,
Just now it's just
what's going on?
I just want to tell you that we American people think British people are funny.
Yes,
Yeah.
they think we're funny.
Yeah.
I mean, they think we're funny. We're funny looking.
Yeah.
They think we're fun. We have better teeth than they do. They, I tell you why um, British people. Well, I think it might have changed, but when I was there, they didn't have the. Sadly, they didn't have braces
Um,
like kids in America. Back maybe 50 years ago, starting 50 years ago, started getting braces. So a lot, you see adult Americans tend to have nice teeth, but British people tend to have crooked teeth and all
no.
because of no braces. I
Oh.
think anybody could have crooked teeth naturally. You have to almost work at it to keep it. And I was told by my mother that when you go to England and Ireland to live, put off going to the dentist. They don't. She told me this years ago. She goes, go. I'd like to think it's gotten better, but they said wait till you go back to America to get your teeth cleaned or get root canal or whatever.
Yeah.
Because America, there's no excuse not to have good teeth in
Yeah.
America. Everyone has
Right.
good teeth. I made it through high school with a full set of teeth. Oh, and Irish dentistry is worse than English dentistry, and that's where I was. So, There's like, I mean, you see the old cowboy movies. Like Doc Holliday was a dentist, and I mean, basically they gave you a bullet to bite on while they pulled teeth out. They gave you,
Yeah.
I mean, they gave you what else? A chomp on a, snap it in two when they were, and they didn't really save teeth. So like I said, I had a full set of teeth. I didn't get in any bar fights or anything during school or college.
Right.
So I had all my teeth up until a few years ago. I'm missing a tooth now. There was only one celebrity in Hollywood that had has a good a set of teeth as I did, and that was Mr. Ed. Anyway, all this talk about that. You like Snapple?
I do.
I'm not a big iced tea person. I really don't care for iced
I
tea.
love iced tea.
You like iced tea?
Yes.
You like hot tea?
I like hot tea as well.
Yeah, okay. What do you drink it plain or do you drink it with sugar or milk or anything?
I drink it with sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
Yeah, and I like different flavors in it too. So.
I have a friend whose mother is from Scotland, and my mother's from Ireland, and my mother never warmed up to iced tea. She to this day wants tea hot and from a it used to be ground tea leaves at the bottom, but before that it had to be now it's in a bag rather from Lipton or Red Rose or any of those Twinings. She would get. She loves tea. She loves Irish people drink more tea than anybody, and it's not an Irish crop. You get it from India and you get it from China.
Yeah.
In China and India, but I think they don't even think of it as a beverage. They think of it as like a medicine.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
how you begin your morning to clear your head and
Right.
to get your body in sync and everything.
Right.
So anyway, I have a friend whose mother's from Scotland and my mother's from Ireland, and both mothers have been here for like many years. And so I said to my friend, her name's Catherine. I said to her, "Did you ever, when your mother's been living in Virginia for a long time, like my mother said, when did she stop drinking the hot tea from Scotland and start drinking the cold iced tea in America?" And she just looked at me and said, "Never." I said, "Same with my mom. It's always hot tea. No ice." We went through an iced tea phase when I was a kid because I got tired of drinking milk all the time. I still don't drink the moo juice. And so I didn't know tea. You made it. I thought it was a powdered mixture that you made from Nestea.
Yeah.
Had the sugar and the lemon and
Yeah.
everything in it,
Yeah.
and you just poured it
Yeah.
and stirred it up.
Yeah.
We just love that stuff. My mom didn't like us drinking that before we went to bed because it would keep us up all night. So she did a very good job of keeping us away from it. So
Yeah.
one day there was like something going on in the house and everyone was partying on and I said, can I have a beer? Can I have some wine? Can I have some coffee? She goes, no, no, none of that stuff. And then I said, can I have some iced tea? She said, get anything else but what I told you. She didn't even hear what I said. So I poured the iced tea and started drinking it.
Yeah.
Drank maybe a big glass of it before I went to bed.
Right.
I'm not kidding you. My mom was right. I was up all night long. I was almost like drinking NyQuil when you're a kid. Not NyQuil, Dayquil.
Oh yeah.
NyQuil put you. NyQuil's the best thing you could drink before a long plane ride or something. But Dayquil, I know people who try to stay up at work, try to keep their eyes open through work, and they don't even have a cold. They're drinking Dayquil.
Right.
And same with iced tea. That's why iced tea is so popular.
Yeah.
And anyway, there's Snapple iced tea. Now Snapple made you all know what Snapple is, so I don't have to bore you with. Snapple has, I don't think it's new, but I've never seen it before. It's in cans a new let's see, this is orange mango and this is grape.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah,
All
grape.
right.
And it's juice. It's not a
Oh.
drink. It's not like high C or
Yeah.
that nonsense or that
Yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
It is actually 100% juice in a can. Okay, and we're gonna have some of it, each of it. So, which would you rather have, the orange juice or the grape? We're gonna drink it both though. We'll both taste it.
I like to try the grape first.
Okay, we'll try the grape first. Okay, all right. I'll pour you some grape. All right. I want some grape too. So I like grape juice. All right. Pour me first. You can keep the can. That's why I'm pouring you second. All right. Let's see how this Christmas drink, Christmas punch tastes like.
Okay.
L'chaim. Hmm.
Pretty good though.
Pretty good. Yeah, it's grape juice. Grape
Yeah.
juice is grape juice. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I feel like Jackie Gleason here drinking this. Okay, I'm trying to swirl it around. I got the grape. I got the grape cup. You got the blue orange cup.
Yeah, these cups are Tupperware.
Oh, they're Tupperware. Okay,
Yeah,
this
these
I
are
didn't know
really
there was
good
so
cups.
fancy stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Never let this stuff leave the house because you'll never get it back. People just think it's regular stuff. And
Right.
yeah, and Tupperware was a cost like these probably cost $50 each or something.
Yeah, the Tupperware ones. These particular cups are called impressions cups. They also have the bowl version when you get the set of bowls, and then you can get like
Mhm.
you know microwave bowls and all that good stuff. So.
Let me tell you something. Uh, Things have changed in the Tupperware business. I got to know Tupperware uh, thanks to Mary, and so I go to the parties and everything, but I don't go to any of the virtual stuff. I never go to any. I never buy the stuff just to buy the stuff. I only go to Tupperware when there's a party because I like the party part of it.
Yeah.
The food, the alcohol, all the, see, I have all this Tupperware that I got from all these parties I've been to, but it was worth it. I thought that was part of the price of the parties that I bought some Tupperware,
Yeah.
and which I don't really need Tupperware because most of the time I used to drink champagne out of a woman's shoe. Who needs Tupperware? By the way, that's how my dad thinks I live. I spend each night. He thinks I spend each night. It ends with me drinking champagne out of a woman's shoe. All right, time to go to bed. All right. Okay, down the hatch here. Okay. Now we're going to have the orange. This is actually not orange, all orange. It's orange mango. You know what orange?
Yeah.
You know what mangoes are?
Mango is kind of
Like a pineapple,
yeah.
like an orangey pineapple,
Yeah.
or pineapple-y orange. I don't know.
Right.
But mango is like my favorite fruit. I could eat mangoes all the time. And when I saw it orange and I think if it was just orange, I would just ignore this. But I said, well, I'm gonna see what it tastes like. So let's have some. Oh, it's kind of comes
My
out a little
favorite
thick.
fruits are blackberries, blueberries, and strawberries.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's what I like
Raspberries
too.
are good too.
Okay,
So.
tell me how you like the orange.
All right. Mm.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Well, kind of weird. It comes in a can. All this stuff. I tell you what this stuff tastes like. If you ever get those cans of orange juice, like in your in like a gift basket or something that is not to be refrigerated. Not you don't have to refrigerate it. Then you
Right.
open it up and
Yeah.
drink it. You could probably chill this and taste a little better. But I think you're better off with just the grape juice and the orange juice and the orange mango and the orange pineapple you get at the store. That actually is a perishable thing.
Yeah.
Though it is 100% juice, so
Right.
I mean it's just I think it's just more of the
Right.
idea that you can it.
Mhm.
We all like the canned things, so I like the orange juice better than the grape juice. What about you?
I do both.
I mean, you have to pick it. You have to pick one.
I do like the orange better.
You like the orange better, okay? Okay, which one do you want, the grape or the orange?
I'll take the orange
All
one.
right, now she wants the orange one.
I mean, I know I've changed.
Then I'll drink the grape and the grape. Okay.
Yeah.
I used to hear stuff about grape juice when I was a kid. Like, I used to hear that grape juice. Well, okay, I used to hear that grape juice was full of sugar.
Uh-huh.
Well, maybe it was, but grapes, to me, of all your fruits, they tend to be a little sour tasting.
Yeah.
You never know how sweet a grape is going to be until you bite
Mhm.
it. Oh, that's a sour one. Well, you too late now. You already bit into it. The other thing is grapes were grape. Oh, then there was all this stuff about how the antioxidants in red wine was good for you, and since red wine is made from grapes,
Right.
they said, well, can you get the same thing out of grape juice? They said you get it's good, but it's not as good as the wine because the wine has the alcohol and the maturity and the ripeness and all that stuff kind of comes to play in wine
Right.
to,
Right.
to unleashing antioxidants and stuff for what was it? And but the thing is you know it gets to a point where you can't drink wine all the time. You go to work and you drink a thing of at work. They said, "Were you drinking wine?" It was kind of like grape juice. Did you drink a can of it? Like, bottle, bottle of wine during lunchtime. So here we go. Enough of this. Enough of this. I tell you something. Both of them taste better than to me than Snapple. I used to see like Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh. They used to always advertise for Snapple. I think they're both based in New York, and it was a Long Island
Oh,
company,
yeah.
Snapple. And I thought, well, it must be good if those guys are talking about it so much. And they're not talking about it so much because it's so good. They're talking about it so much because they were getting paid to talk about it. So I would so I tried Snapple, and then I didn't like it. Then I tried it again, and about the third time, I said, I'm not gonna like this stuff. I'm not gonna learn to like this stuff. I'm more of a soda person.
Yeah.
So so anyway, how you we're well into the Christmas season. How I see your lovely dress. Look at that lovely dress Mary's wearing today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth. Yeah, has snowmen and
Santa
Chris
Claus and Rudolph.
and Rudolph.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you have upside down Christmas trees.
Yeah.
That
Christmas trees.
a pattern. Some are
Yeah.
right side up, some are upside down. I think the upside down ones are more are more are more symbolic of
Right.
this 2020 year we've been going through. Everything's turned on its head, including the Christmas trees.
And look at these plaid earrings that
Hmm.
I bought these last year.
Hmm.
A friend of mine was selling jewelry and all that,
Yeah,
and she had these made for me. So
there you go. There's
so that
the Mary Elizabeth collection.
yeah. And I'm wearing some Christmas nails as well.
Oh wow, look at those.
It's got Christmas lights. It's
Yeah,
really sparkly, so you might not see it too good, but this part has like Christmas lights,
yeah.
and this other part just has sparkles and like shiny pink,
Wow.
So I kind of mixed them, together. So isn't that cool?
Coming at you.
Yeah.
I'd show mine, but too many hangnails. Not pretty. It's like
Yeah.
it's like I was digging a ditch or something.
Right.
Anyway, actually no, actually my hands are looking better than they usually do, and the reason why is always washing them. There's not a
Yeah.
speck of dirt anywhere
I
on them
wash my I
anymore.
wash my hands all the time.
No, but I mean because of 2020,
Right.
you're told to wash your hands. That was one of the first things they told us to do. So you don't have to wear gloves all the time. You don't have to wear a mask all the time. This is back when it first started, like in December or February. But then, but it's a good idea to wash your hands every time you touch something. So then you wash your hands, and that hasn't left. I don't wear gloves anymore. But I do wash my hands all the time. I have
Yeah.
sanitizer everywhere, and wear a mask every time I go out. And now the funny thing about wearing a mask is, I my friends, they complain that their lipstick
Yeah.
rubs up against the back of theirs, and they have to turn it around, and then the lipstick is showing, and it's just a big mess. I said, well, maybe I guess the lipstick companies aren't doing too well during this pandemic. Who needs lipstick anymore? We'll just wear the
Yeah.
mask.
Yeah.
Who needs? I could have worn the mask, as a teenager with acne and everything, and pimples and everything.
Yeah.
Would have loved to wear the mask.
Yeah.
The less anyone sees my face, the better.
Yeah.
Now I'm fine. Now my skin is healed up, and now I have to wear a mask all the time. Isn't that terrible? So enjoying the Christmas season, yeah.
Yes. My favorite time of the year.
The most
What
wonderful
time of the year?
Andy.
Yes.
Do you have any Andy Williams albums?
I might have some somewhere,
Anyway,
but I don't think I have any Christmas ones.
Andy Williams was was a big deal. He became Mr. Christmas for many.
Yeah.
I mean, up until he died.
I love
Like he
Andy
was in his
Williams though.
80s, and
Yeah.
he was still singing Christmas. That was mainly his time of year. He had a show in Branson, Missouri during the rest of the year. This is
Oh.
after he did his TV show and everything
Oh,
was a
okay.
big hit. And then he had a big hit, Moon River. His biggest hit probably is that Most Wonderful Time of the Year song. And then he would go across around the country as part of his tour. There's certain people you only see during Christmas time, and one was Andy Williams. I think Perry Como did in his later years was just doing Christmas tours. There was I got to tell you a story about Perry Como. You know Perry Como? You know his hit songs, Perry Como. He had these weird songs that made no sense at all. And what happened was he was with RCA, and I think Frank Sinatra was with I don't know where Frank, not Capitol Records, maybe Capitol Records.
Right.
But I was thinking before Capitol Records, wherever he was, Columbia Records he might have been with. And what happened was they would they uh, they would test market songs, and they'd say, Perry, we have this song, and we test positive. It's not a great song, but whoever sings this will have a big hit with it.
Yeah.
And then he says, well, what's the song? And of course, the song was some crazy song. So if you don't sing it, we're going to give it to Tony Bennett, or we're going to give it to Frank Sinatra, and they're going to have a hit with it.
Mhm.
So it's all right, all right, all right. So we wound up singing all these crazy songs that made no sense. Hot diggity dog is probably the best example. Hot diggity doggity mambo, hey mambo, Papa loves mambo. He had a song. He had a song. Who not the Beach Boys version, but like a song called Kokomo, which is kind of a silly song.
Oh, okay.
And he had a song. Um, yeah, I mean, you go in there, you're going to find. Now, of course, he was so upset singing these songs. Sometimes he only sang it the one time. He's like, hot diggity dog, what you do to me? And then and then right before the song was over, he'd throw throw the music in in the air and then just walk out. Says, I'm not going to do it a second time. He goes, oh, we got it the first time. That's great. So then he'd have a big hit and it'd help him out. So then he would do these shows, these Christmas shows, and he'd sing Christmas songs. And then people would start yelling out requests. Play Hot Diggity Doggity, or and he would say, he didn't want. And after a while, he figured out he has to do what the fans want to hear.
Right.
So he was the first celebrity singer to actually he would take like 10 of those crazy songs he sings, like Papa Loves Mambo and stuff, and Kokomo and stuff, and string them together in like a 2 minute medley. And everyone would applaud. And after 2 minutes, he got it all out of his system. And the audience was happy, gave a standing ovation. And he goes, okay, now let's go on with the good songs. But that was Perry Como. You never saw Perry Como in any movies. He made one movie, and supposedly he insulted Louis B. Mayer, who was, I think, at MGM.
Yeah.
And I mean, Perry Como was at MGM, and he insulted him, and he goes, "That man's never going to make a movie with us again." And he wound up being a big hit on television,
Yeah.
so with his Perry Como show and
Right.
everything. A little lazy though. Kind of puts you to sleep. I mean, that was his. He made Willie Nelson look like he was at the St. Vitus dance. He was so laid back and everything.
Right.
But that was Perry Como, and I remember Perry Como had a song, Christmas song. Here we go, a carolyn. Da, 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 da. Yeah.
And there's no place like home for the
There's no
holiday.
place like home for the. Yeah, he was Mr. Christmas. Right now, the closest thing we have to a Christmas tour, not in 2020, but maybe next year, was Mannheim Steamroller
Oh, I like Midnight
with all those
Steamroller. Yeah.
fires coming out.
That's so
The
cool.
Siberian Orchestra,
Yeah.
Trans Siberian Orchestra, plays all those Christmas songs in like a heavy metal sort of
Yeah, yeah.
style.
Yeah.
And then I did go to a Christmas show because I always wanted to see Brian Setzer of
Right.
the Stray Cats.
Yeah, I like him too.
He has this Brian Setzer orchestra. It's basically a big band, and he sings a lot of rockabilly. He sings a lot of big band songs, and he also has like at least two Christmas albums in
Oh.
his style, singing popular Christmas songs, and they're pretty wild.
Oh,
I mean, you can
wow.
play these all year round, even though
Wow.
they're pretty raucous. You know,
Right.
Santa Claus
Right.
driving a Cadillac and all these driving a motorcycle. I mean, these are songs he sings about, but they're very good. And then he sings, they're sort of a like the Elvis Christmas album,
Yeah.
which I think is still the best Christmas album.
Oh, I love the Elvis Christmas album.
The Elvis Christmas album is has a song on there for everybody.
Yeah.
It is the typical songs on there, Christmas songs, and then there's only like 10 songs. It's less than a half hour long. All the songs are about 2 minutes long,
Yeah.
and a little more some of them. There's Santa Claus. The ones I think of Elvis being a really good Elvis songs on there. Blue Christmas, of course,
Yeah, I like
but
that
Blue
one.
Christmas is not a Elvis song, but he made it his own. Now, when
Right.
you think of Blue Christmas, you think of it as an Elvis song. And he had a song, Santa Bring My Baby Back to Me,
Yeah, I like that one too.
and yeah, these are really good songs. And then we tried singing them on a karaoke style on the Gorgeous George show once,
Yeah.
I thought we did a pretty good job.
Right.
But there's also Silent Night is on there,
Oh,
very
I like
very
that one too.
somber
Yeah.
carol. And then there's even a blues song, which is really weird, Merry Christmas Baby, which
Yes,
doesn't
it's
sound like any.
Christmas time, pretty baby.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he sang that. That was the one you were talking about. He sings that one too.
Yeah, it's I mean, I mean, it's almost like a blues. I mean, it is a blues song.
Yeah.
I remember Bruce Springsteen appeared once on the Conan O'Brien show during
Yeah.
Christmas time, and he sang like a 10-minute version of that song
Wow.
with the Conan band,
Yeah.
the Max Weinberg Seven.
Yeah.
And Max Weinberg, of course, is the drummer for the Bruce Springsteen band. So all the bands were together with the same drummer,
Right.
and then Bruce was singing "Merry Christmas, Baby,"
Cool.
and it was it, and I think even Bruce said that was the greatest performance he's ever done on a
Oh,
talk show.
okay.
So check it
Yeah.
out on YouTube. Maybe I'll find it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah.
And there's also he was on the other night. I didn't watch him, but Jose Feliciano,
Oh
and
yeah.
he has a big Christmas song called Feliz
Oh
Navidad.
yeah. Yeah. I love that one.
You love that one?
Yeah.
You, they don't play it enough.
Yeah. Feliz Navidad.
What's that mean again? Oh, it's Spanish. When
Merry
I
Christmas.
want to hear English. I want to hear, or is that, or my friend said, I want to hear American. I want to hear American. Speak American. I don't want to hear a Spanish song. No, speak American. But Feliz Navidad, I'm not sure about this, but it may be the most popular song ever written.
Yeah, they play it all the time. It's a
they
good song still.
they play it on every station. in every city in America between Thanksgiving and Christmas Day, pretty much every half hour. What song has ever been played that much? I can't think. Every station, every half hour, 3 months a year. I mean, 1 month a year for 50 years, and still going strong. Some guy actually told me, "You have a good record collection. I'm looking for Feliz Navidad. Do you have that record? Do you have?" I said, "No, I don't have that album because I do you have the 45?" I said, "I don't have the 45." He says, "Why don't you?" And I said, "Because I don't have to. I just turn on the radio and there it is." Really?
Yeah.
And so I think it was a couple of years ago, George and I were trying to sing it. He insisted that we sing Feliz Navidad. There's no cover versions of this, so we sang our own version of Feliz Navidad. And it's actually a very hard song to sing in karaoke. I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't really change very much. It's basically just one one stanza in Spanish, and then one stanza in English, and then it just repeats Spanish, English,
Yeah.
Spanish, English,
Yeah.
Spanish,
Yeah.
English, and you get kind of tired. Once it's over, after about the 2.5 minute mark, says, "Is there any more to the song? Is there a key change?" But that's Feliz Navidad. And actually, not to take anything away, I don't want to take anything away from Jose Feliciano because he's actually a very good
Oh
singer.
yeah, he's very talented.
He has he has the famous song
Light my
"Light
fire.
My Fire" by the Doors. He had a bigger hit with that song than the Doors did, than Jim Morrison did.
Yeah.
But in fact, Jim Morrison didn't even write it. It's one of the other members that wrote it. Robbie, I think. And then the other one was uh, he when you see him on shows singing in Spanish, he still comes out with albums and stuff, and he's so good. He famously, Robert Klein used to joke that he sang the Star Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl one year, and he did a Spanish version of it. Oh, say, can you see that it dance? And people were like outraged. They did not like this Tex-Mex version. And the poor Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, what they suffered for. They hear and they'd be turning over at the Alamo. But anyway, so that's not the only Super Bowl. It will be in a couple of months, and I'm sure they're going to have you had Whitney Houston and a lot of Lady Gaga sang it a few years ago. But there's a famous version that the two most famous versions, early versions, was the Jose Feliciano version. There's also a version by Robert Goulet,
Oh.
who forgot the words in the middle of it. And after that, they said we're going to have it live. Not going to have it. We're going to have it on tape, and they're just going to be mouthing to the words. That's why the Super Bowl show is always uh, pre-recorded now. It's all lip sync because they didn't want what happened to Robert Goulet, where he forgot the words, and so they actually had this. He had he forgot the words halfway through the Star Spangled Banner. So then he says, "Hey, I'm a Canadian. I don't know the Star Spangled Banner." Have me sing "Oh Canada," and I know all the words. I can sing it to you in French and English. Anyway, so you have some. So you've been listening to your Christmas albums. You have some to show us.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's bring them on.
All right.
These will be good. Good to play at home.
I got
Okay.
Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk.
Yes.
Lawrence. I'm glad that they. You all know what he looks like, so they don't have to put a picture of him
Yeah. I
with
mean,
a
duh.
Santa Claus hat or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
I
So
don't.
this is
I don't think he has any Christmas hits. In fact, I don't think he has any hits that are. He has one hit song. These are typical. Just if you watch the Lawrence Welk show, this is probably the same
yeah.
type of music. I think they're. I guess it's his band playing them. Now
Yeah.
the show you actually have singers and you would hear the singers
Right.
singing them.
Right. This is a really great album, though.
Is there vocals on it or is it all instrumentals?
I think it's just mostly instrumental.
Yeah, it's just the band music, his own
Yeah.
band. Not
Right.
a terrible band with the
Right.
accordions
Yeah.
and the champagne. I was very talented when I was a kid. Oh, and then there was the guy Fritz Feld, the guy from the old movies and stuff. I can do. I can make all these sounds with my mouth. This is what we did before the internet.
Yeah.
Okay. I got.
Right.
Now I hope I didn't infect myself licking my fingers so much like that.
Yeah.
I feel like Colonel Sanders. Anyway, so Lawrence Welk. What can I tell you about Lawrence Welk? His he 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 uh he was a very popular show, and then in 1980, was it 1980 or 1970 or something? They canceled him. I said, but the show is so popular. I said, yeah, but you're only popular with old people. You're not popular with young people who are buying cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So he did not like being fired because you know you're doing a good job, you're doing what's asked of you, and then they fire you. This happens in show business
That
all the
makes
time.
sense.
Yeah. So almost immediately, according to him, they gave him this contract to do syndication, to be played all over the country, and then they didn't have to worry about the fees given to ABC, who had ABC was weird because ABC was the young people's network in those days, and they had the oldest show, oldest people's show. But you watch the show today, it's still quite entertaining. 2 minute
Yeah.
songs, it moves pretty fast for the show. Um, I was one of those guys too hip, and I didn't really care for Lawrence Welk. And my parents would be watching the next day, next room, and I just, oh God, what? And then all of a sudden, I heard some really good music
Yeah.
from the Lawrence Welk show. I heard this really good singer. He was singing the Cotton Fields Back Home, and so I went in there and said, no wonder it was good. It was a guest appearance by Charlie Pride. So, oh, Charlie Pride. Everyone likes
Okay.
Charlie Pride. No wonder
Yeah.
it was good. You should have Charlie Pride every week.
My grandmother used to have it on all the time when I
Yeah.
used to stay with her. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Old people still like the Lawrence Welk show, and they still show it on most local
I think
PBS
PBS or something like
PBS
that.
channels.
Yeah.
The old one. I mean, he's been dead for like probably 40 years already. But they would show they show the old ones from the 60s and 70s, maybe the 80s, and then sometimes I have to visit people in old folks' homes, and you go to each room, and there's a TV on.
Mm.
Sadly, these people, may have Alzheimer's or dementia or
Yeah.
something. And then you see them and they're watching Fox News, which is the worst thing. If this is your
Oh
end of
no.
days, all the world is going to hell. There's no hope for us. There's no hope for us in this election. There's no hope for this. No hope. And these people are like, oh. So I always say, hey, Lawrence Welk is on. You want to watch Lawrence Welk? Yes, yes, put on Lawrence Welk. And then they're happy for an hour hearing something uplifting. At least at least. So I always tell people when you're at the old folks' home, change the channel to you know Lawrence Welk. Change the channel to the Carol Burnett show, Sonny and Cher show. If that's not. Say change the channel to comedy shows, MGM musicals. It's
Yeah.
TCM.
Right.
Put that on. Don't put people saying how terrible life is because Fox News you're not going to find any good news on it.
Yeah.
Everything is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every villain, everyone you think is a villain, they vilify as a hero.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
look at this guy. He drove out a whole building in New York of poor people. Yeah, let's give him an applause.
Yeah.
That's what Fox News is.
Yeah.
If it's your high school gym teacher's favorite network. If all the Batman villains got together and created their own show, that's what Fox News would be.
Right.
That's the Lawrence Welk is. I used to love the woman who played the piano. Oh, I made a joke once about playing the piano, typing. My boss was saying, "Yeah, I see you gold bricking all the time," and I said, "No, no. You ever see me type? I'm always filling out stuff. I'm typing like this. I'm typing faster than Joanne Castle plays that player piano." And somebody yelled out, "You watch the Lawrence Welk show?" I love that woman playing the piano. Yeah. All right, who's next?
This is one of my favorites that I play.
Yeah.
Christmas disco.
Christmas disco.
Yeah.
Does she come with it?
Well, she's just a model. So.
I'd rather see her dance than hear her sing. I tell
Yeah.
you. Now, now tell me what these are disco versions of popular Christmas
Yes.
songs. Okay.
Yes. Sleigh ride. Jingle bells. Santa Claus is coming to town. Jingle bell rock. Silver
That,
bells.
that lends itself to disco.
Went to Wonderland.
Uh-huh.
Little drummer boy.
Little drummer boy.
Yeah,
There you go.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And Joy to the World.
But their Joy to the World's the Three Dog Night version.
Yeah.
It lends itself more to disco about
Right.
Jeremiah and his bullfrog.
Right.
So anyway, so anyway, that this show hold that sign up there. That thing. They have a woman here. You know, I used to watch with a bunch of kids um, when I was living in Europe. They had their own version of The Price is Right, and you know those women on The Price is Right they always do it with the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cars and with the washing machines and
Right,
everything,
right.
and everything. And this is the showcase, and and I'd always say, I hope she comes with the showcase. And these kids would just laugh. They were on the floor laughing. And I said, "What are you laughing at?" He goes, "Kevin said he wished that pretty girl would come with the showcase." And then the adults would laugh. And then after everyone's laughing, then you start to wonder. Every man in America makes that joke. It never came across the Atlantic Ocean. Oh well. I mean, I brought a new. Maybe I'll be quoted in one of their joke books that I made that joke. I hope
Yeah.
she comes with it. Anyway, so that Christmas disco, yeah, there was a big rush of disco albums in the 1970s of popular singers singing their songs in disco version, like Ethel Merman.
Yeah.
There's no business like show business. I was singing all the songs, and
Yeah.
everything's coming up roses. There was even Cab Calloway had a new version of Minnie the Moocher at disco, which I
Oh.
have, which is actually pretty good. And when they made the Blues Brothers movie, he wanted them to do the disco version, and the
Right.
directors said, "No, no, do the 1920s, 1930s version. That's the one we all love." And that's what was done. So good. Because a lot of people think when music is introduced, it's here to stay, but actually, disco is one of those things that, it had its day, and now it's gone.
Right. Yeah.
Now it's a nostalgia thing. Yeah, you
Yeah.
hear it in old movies just to establish that it's the
Yeah.
70s. Yeah, here
Right.
we go.
Right. And the next one I'm going to show you. Liberace's "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
Oh, Liberace. So, Liberace was, um, oh, Liberace never got married.
Yeah.
Liberace, look, very always smile. One thing I always like about Liberace, I dress like, notice I'm kind of dressed like
He's very
Liberace.
he's very flamboyant.
Very flamboyant. He actually is um he made it in the 1950s on local uh Los Angeles television, and then became national, and then became a fixture in Las Vegas,
Right.
doing these wild shows where he's on wires going over the crowd, and
Right.
playing these rhinestoned and mirror glass and
Mhm.
uh, pianos, and yet he was a talented man
Right.
as a
Yeah.
pianist. Um, but because of that, he became more famous. I always like the line in the movie
Yeah.
Green Book, where the guy's trying to describe the guy, the African American guy he's driving around the South, the Goomba, white Goomba guy, and he says, by Viggo Mortensen, and he says to his wife, "Well, what's he like?" And he says, "Ah, he's a strange guy, but I tell you something, when he plays the piano, he sounds better than Liberace." Which, to a guy like that, the only context he had of a famous pianist was Liberace. Liberace's real name was Walter. He was of Polish descent,
Yeah.
and Walter in Polish, his name wasn't Walter. It was actually Władzu, which is
Loves it.
a Polish name, and of course, sadly died of AIDS. He always was in the closet for his homosexuality, and he, even when he was dying, he actually said that he was on a watermelon diet and lost too much weight just eating watermelon. That's why he's so emaciated and all. But it's really sad. Like, he had, and it didn't come out till after he died because he kept a lid on everything. He sued anyone who said that he wasn't anything but a heterosexual man. He actually sued a a newspaper in London that were making fun of him in the 1950s, and he won it because they couldn't find any evidence that said that he was gay. But then after he died, that the Daily Mirror in London, which is the newspaper, wanted their money back that they paid. But
Right.
Liberace is still to this day a great entertainer, and he's always fun to watch in old clips. He's very very fine pianist. Yeah.
Right.
He's more famous than any pianist uh, that you would think of. Yeah.
Right. And we have the Dean Martin Christmas album.
Dino.
Yes, Dino.
I think I have this album at home. Tell me what's on here. About 10 songs on here.
Okay.
He has, I think, a few Christmas albums. Yeah.
White Christmas,
Mhm.
Jingle Bells,
Mhm.
I'll Be Home for Christmas,
Mhm.
Blue Christmas,
Mhm.
Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Marshmallow World,
Right.
Silver Bells, Winter Wonderland, The
Mhm.
Things That We Did Last Summer, and
Yeah.
Silent Night.
Yes. Very standard Christmas album. I think there's another Christmas album he did, and he actually I think was the first one to introduce the song "Baby It's Cold Outside"
Oh,
as a
yeah.
Christmas song, which was up until a few years ago was never considered a Christmas song, but
Right.
now it's a staple of Christmas. I think people like it and all.
Right.
They like all the love and the double entendre and everything.
Yeah.
And but Dean was so good. Dean. Uh, my dad saw Dean when he first got started with Jerry Lewis,
Right.
and he didn't know what to think of him. This is back in the late 1940s. He said that Dean was. He said he's first thing he said was Jerry Lewis. This style of comedy is just like making fun of disabled
Yeah.
special needs people. He
Yeah.
goes, how is he going to make it? And then he thought that was his real way. He didn't know there was he was playing a part. He thought Jerry Lewis really was acting that way. And then Dean was the singer that was a very poor man's Bing Crosby.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
said he did get better, Dean.
Right.
In fact, all those guys tried to copy Bing Crosby in the
Yeah.
day, and Dean was one of them. Dean was very very laid back. They thought when they broke up, Martin and Lewis, that Dean would sink into oblivion. Actually, uh, for a while, Dean was actually more successful than Jerry because he had his TV show. Jerry, tried to make movies and it was successful at that, but not as at the time, not as big as it was with Dean. And
Right.
the French actually considered Jerry a auteur. They didn't reunite, of course, until the late 1970s, some 20 years after they broke up. They didn't even, I understand, never even met each other.
Right.
Always avoided each other. Talked about each other, but didn't. And then Dean had a wonderful show. One of my favorite shows when I was a kid. He and they never repeated them. My mom would say, you can watch them in the summer when you're not at school because they're on at 10 o'clock. And then they would have a summer show. So then when the show when the then years later, like not that long ago, less than 20 years later, they're selling them on late night television. The DVDs of his old show. Yeah, finally I got to see quite a few of them, and they're wonderful. It's important to know about Dean that he never rehearsed. He did a show in like the style, the Carol Burnett type style with skits and singing. And the producer said, "This ain't working. You can't remember lines. You can't remember dance sequences." Because so they did some really weird editing on the Dean Martin shows. They rehearsed without Dean, and then the day of the show they would put him on there. They put everything on cue cards, all the songs on cue cards. They had him wear a tuxedo all the time, so it wouldn't so the editing would be crisp. It wouldn't, and so he'd always look good. And he the songs he sang he would know that would be fine, but the jokes. He would he was actually a great entertainer, almost spontaneity, the way he would do the show, and it worked. This worked. It was the only caveat to doing a show like that is that Dean had pretty much no input at all in the show. He couldn't say, "Oh, this skit isn't working," or "This I'd like this joke to be changed." He didn't. He didn't even know what the script was until he showed up that day to do it in front of a camera with an audience and everything. But it worked out for him. But actually, that's a great way to do a show. If you ask me, in fact, if I could do a show like that where it just has nothing but cue cards and me just yammering, that's the way I'd do the show. But that's Dean. What can you tell me about Dean?
Dean Martin, he's really good. He did a Christmas song, I mean, called the Christmas Blues.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's not on here, but I used to have a CD that would have that song on there.
Christmas blues.
Yeah, they call me the Christmas Blues.
I'll tell you one else thing about Dean. This is all him singing by himself, but people love Dean that appeared on the show. They loved singing with Dean,
Yeah,
and Dean he wouldn't try to outshine the singer, and they like that. They
yeah,
like that he would just pretty much
yeah,
just sing backup.
yeah.
If you listen to a lot of his songs back to back, even
Right,
his hit songs,
right.
you hear sort of a sameness about them. And you could hear one or two at a time, but you can't really hear a whole album before it's
Right.
oh man.
His daughter, one of his children is also a singer.
Yes.
Yeah, Dina Martin.
Dina Martin.
Dina
I
Martin.
saw when Bob Newhart. When I saw was it Bob Newhart? I think it was Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
He she was the singer before the show.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, and it was in Virginia Beach. I saw Bob Newhart, and then not that long ago, only
Yeah.
about 10 years ago, less than
Right.
10 years ago. And Dina was, and I think it was a favor Bob Newhart gave to Dina Martin because uh, they Dean on his TV show, like I said, had a very improvisational feel to the show, and his favorite comedians to work with on the show were Bob Newhart and Jonathan Winters and Dom DeLuise. And if you
Oh,
see them, they're always cracking each other up and
oh
making jokes and
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
And one thing I really liked about Dean Martin was you see he's smiling there. He
yeah,
always looks like he's having a good time, and that's how I try to live my life. And that's why I think any appeal I have with at
yeah.
least with my friends,
Right.
people who know me know that I'm always in a good mood, always trying to have a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
My this is my man, Dean
yeah.
Martin.
Yes, yes,
Never
yes,
got to see him. Dean Martin made very few appearances. You rarely see him on talk shows and everything.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. And here we go.
We got one more to
Got
share.
one more
Yes.
until next week. Okay. What's this?
The Little Drummer Boy by the Harry Simeone Choir.
Yes. The Harry Simone
And this is
chorale.
a
Yeah.
beautiful album.
Yeah. Let me. It's I know the little drummer boy. This is actually the definitive version of it. Whenever you hear it, like on the cartoon, not the cartoon, it's all like puppets that they do
Right,
with the little
right.
drummer boy. You may see it. Um, what other songs are on there? They're all choir
Right,
styles, choir like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir,
right.
the chorale. Yeah, tell what other songs are on there? I guess mainly religious songs.
Yeah, they got Christmas Prelude, Sing a Song of Christmas, Angels We Have Heard on High, Away in a Manger, What Child Is This, Glory and Joy to the World, The Little Drummer Boy, of course, Masters in This Hall, Do You Hear What I Hear? A Simple Prayer, Christmas Interlude, Good King Wenceslas, We Three Kings, Lo How I Rose, Bring a Torch,
Oh,
Deck the Halls, The Love Star, Christmas Postlude, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, O Little Town of Bethlehem, Coventry Carol, Ding Dong Merrily on High, Hosanna and While Shepherds Watched, and the First Noel.
there you go. All like I said, all basically all hymns. The
Yeah,
now, if you buy this album at a yard sale, and you're buying it for the little drummer boy, obviously, you put your needle on it, and it's always going to skip because that's the song that everyone was playing on this album.
well, I like the whole album. The whole
Yeah,
album's
sometimes it's
great.
better. Well, that's the problem with record albums is that you should put them at the beginning and play them all the way, but you don't do that. I don't do that either. Say, what's the song we like? That's the one we like. That's the song that's going to skip. That's the
Yeah,
song that's going to sound all crackly and everything.
right,
The
right.
little drummer boy, such a when you're a kid, it's finally a moving song that you could. most songs you just know is like "Pop Goes the Weasel" or something,
Yeah.
and then you hear a very moving song,
Yeah.
"Little Drummer Boy." I remember someone was telling me that they would try to hear people put their own spin on it. Most famous is Bing Crosby
Yeah.
and David Bowie, but they sang it, so sort of reverential to this one. I heard a version by Lou Rawls, the blues singer,
Oh
and he
yeah,
was
I
going.
like
He was
Blue
basically
Balls.
saying, "Come, they told me."
He did a
Per-"
version of that. I
Yeah.
thought that was really good.
Yeah, he would. I mean, he was doing like this jazz version,
Yeah.
like "Come, they told me, parum, parum, parum." And if that was bad enough, then there was a very good. They're both good singers, but they tried to put their own style on it too much. And the song it doesn't really that rather defies style. The other song they sang, the other song like that was Johnny Cash doing it.
Oh.
Come, they told me. Ba-rum-ba-bum-bum. And a little bit too heavy with that voice is for that song. You kind of want like 8-year-old boys and girls singing this song.
Yeah.
You don't really want a grown-up man with a that's with hair on his chest singing the song.
Yeah.
Lou Rawls, same thing.
Yeah.
But that was the little drummer boy, and yeah, those are all good albums. Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, hope you enjoyed the. I really enjoyed hearing all your albums. So
Yeah.
what do you have to say for our for our 11 fans?
Yes. I just wanted to say thank you all for tuning in, and may God bless you all. And I hope you all have a happy holiday, which is in about another 2 weeks or so. So, and don't forget, we all love you.
Stay healthy.
Yeah, stay healthy as well. Okay.
Say listen, and if you're watching it now, I hope you're watching it a year from now. This episode because it's supposed to get really bad, the COVID-19, in the next few weeks. So I'm looking forward to seeing you watching a rerun of this a year from now because or seeing it now because we hopefully we'll all get better in a few months time. But we have to get through this COVID spike. Wash your hands, wear your mask.
Yes.
In fact, do anything you can to stay healthy. Because if you're gone by in the next few months, there won't be anything left for you to do. So stay healthy and it began this year. Hope and like everything that begins, it ends. So let's hope it ends with by all we're all cooperating. So
Yes.
thank you very much. Send them away. My name is Kaye Lazar. You're watching the Mary Elizabeth variety show. Take
God,
it.
God bless you all, and we love you.